Well, let me swoosh right in. Oh, hold on. Let me. Okay. Hi, Nayo. Thank you for the raid. I might need to restart stream. This is scuffed. This is rough, chat. My internet disconnected. The alert took so long. I am so sorry. Let me just. Oh, why am I holding wine? Oh my god. That's so fucked up. Thank you for the resub, Nayo, and thank you for everybody that's subbing. Do you guys think I should just restart? I'm worried that my chat is going to be lagging behind. No? Honestly, it's probably fine. But thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Yeah, see, I think my chat is behind. Oh, no. Oh, okay. Well, hello. Welcome, chat. Thank you for the resub, Super Grump. I don't know why my internet just kicked me. That seems like, you know, an Alaska problem. Didn't think I would still be having this issue all the way down here. Thank you for the sub, effin' baby green. So last time, oh, hold on. One moment. Last time we started, you love the sassy chair thing going on. You want to see how bouncy it is? Okay, so this rig is a little bit scuffed because I kind of threw it together in one day. So, oh, holy shit. I'm so glitchy right now. But it's so bouncy. Oh, thank you for the dono, Faulanka, for a second monitor, and to say thanks for all the help you've given me just by producing the content you do, you and being yourself. I really appreciate it. I'm doing my best here. And thank you for the bits, Maestro Malice. Again, thank you for the raid, Nayo. Oh shit, sorry, chat. Thank you for the sub, Golgari, and the bits, Asian Equation. Is that the Dommy Mommy Moth from the Taco Bell tier list and various memes? Pog, that is me. Hello, chat. I am I am Jupiter, the silk moth. Thank you for the bits, Doom Trooper. Mothbomb, the Discord server, loved the Delta Green game I put on. Thanks again for the voice clip. Have a good stream. Awesome. I'm glad you liked it. Sorry, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Juniper. I am a Luna Moth. This stream is a little bit different. For those of you who missed the first one, this is sort of like a... Oh, shit. I should turn those... Oh, those are really loud. Sorry. Thank you for the gifted sub, JTV. I appreciate it. It's sort of a very, like, laid-back, kind of relaxed reading stream. For those of you who are not familiar with the life and suffering of Sir Brante, it is sort of a virtual multiple route novel. It's interesting. It's very interesting. And there's also stat mechanics and stuff. But last time, we had a very cursed childhood as Chad Thundercock Brante. Our brother is a piece of shit. Our grandpa is a piece of shit. Our mom is a piece of shit. And our dad's an enabler. All wholesome vibes. Very good wholesome vibes. We got the shit beat out of us by our grandpa. We got the shit beat out of us by our mom. We got the shit beat out of us by some rich kid, I think. No, our dad also beat the shit out of us. Very good, very wholesome, very good. But last episode, we rejected our lot as a commoner and kissed the blade of the priest, which is very bold of us. It's not exactly our place to do that. So hold on, let me get our game cap up. And thank you guys for the bits. I'm sorry I can't. Am I sitting on the baby? No, hold on, the baby is coming out. All right, there you go, little guy. Oh, look how sleepy it is. Do you like those little antenna flicks? I was proud of that. All right, let me bring up our game and we can resume. Anyways, do any of you guys have drinks? Did you make tea? Did you make hot cocoa? Thank you for the sub, Thundery Melons. I appreciate it. and Bunji Gomuno. Personally, I'm having a little bit of spiced rum because I, chat, have issues. Right, well, we just finished chapter 1, which was our adolescence. Thank you for the sub, Mekadaito. The mark left on you by the sacrament takes a long, long time to heal. Do I have a magic wine hand? Yes, I do. Thank you, magic wine hand. Now please go file my paperwork for me. Appreciated. Thank you for the bits, Asian Equation and Ferdin Blade. Thank you. Anyways. Mother says it is a reminder of your lot, suffering and sufferance, pain and patience. Gloria shows you the mark of the lash on her shoulder one day. It will never disappear. You are a commoner now. This is the lot you were born into. But Father keeps telling you to study hard so you may yet earn a different lot and become a noble of the mantle. Thank you for the sub, Bombzaz. You have a bad kidney stone problem, so I only get water. That sounds so fucking rough. I've never had a kidney stone problem, but I've had friends who have. You recall the past with warm sadness, when that shithole Stefan still lived with you, or when he wrote to you for a time shortly after he left. Now he thinks it beneath him to write to the commoners of his family. Mother didn't lock herself in the bedroom as often back then. This changed shortly before Nathan was born. But, most importantly, you missed the time before the terrifying figure of your grandfather was constantly looming over you. We also decided last stream that we're gonna kick our grandfather's ass. You learn the true power of the lot only after the head of the family's arrival. In grandfather's eyes, no commoner deserves to be treated with kindness. Is this just him? Or the way of the entire world? The very thought makes you queasy. You are older now, and what's more, you are an elder brother now. You've learned how to care about someone else, how to teach and protect. Soon, you are a small boy no longer. As the days passed, play gradually gives way to laborious study. Now your choices will decide your place in the bizarre and ruthless world of adulthood. Your childhood years are over. We're sort of going for a determination build, although I realized after last chapter we are profoundly crippled at like -10 willpower, so we're gonna have to make that up real quick. Otherwise we're just gonna be done for, probably. Thank you for the sub, Legonas. No will to break. What kind of game is this? It is a sort of virtual multiple choice novel with stats. It's interesting.
I was growing up fast. The school, the streets, and the whole wide world awaited me beyond the gate of my parents' house.
Cheers, chat. He do be sounding like Chad Thundercock, though. Let's rock and roll, baby. You've lived in this world for 8 years now. As you grow older, life grows more complex. The world of your childhood was limited to your house and family, but now that realm is expanding. It also includes your neighborhood, the nearby houses, the streets of the ancient city of Enezote. A question now looms over you, growing more pressing with every passing year. What will your place be in this vast outside world? No, baby is not a separate entity. I'm just really proud of this gif. Thank you for the sub, Hawkeyes. Few people in the blessed Archnean Empire trouble themselves with this question. It is not within a man or woman's power to choose. Their destiny is predetermined by their birth and those who bore them. Oh, we also died for the first time last stream. We met the twin gods, and then we woke up in the, family temple. Apparently everybody in this world has 3 lives. Mango Pepsi, that sounds kind of delightful. I love mango. And yet, your peculiar birth has granted you a choice. Your father is a man of nobility, a worthy example in matters of duty and honor. Your mother is a commoner of lowly estate, humility and patience made flesh. And your sky is ablaze, day and night, with the light of the shining pillar, the beacon of the clergy. Are those shoes or my toes? I mean, I am a bug. Also, have a good night, Soul Reaper. Your back bears the mark of the lash. Will you accept the drudgery and suffering that is the lost lot of the lowborn for your entire life? Or will you follow in the footsteps of your father and your father's father and fight for the right to serve the empire as a noble of the mantle? Perhaps you will follow the twin god's word and offer spiritual guidance to others. Now, I don't think we can do that because we rejected the gods chapter 1. The answer lies out there in that vast, terrifying world. What awaits you beyond the walls of your home? Have a good night, Siberian winter. Your world grows, the neighborhood, the houses nearby. Shit, we read that. Events that can happen to the Brante family. You discover a secret society your sister Gloria has joined. You find out your elder brother's forbidden love. Personally, I'm really interested in Gloria. Join the blood tide of the Brante family. And yet, I'm a big fan of blood tides. Your younger brother, Nathan Brante, receives a spiritual admonition from you. Like I said, most interested in Gloria, I think. Have a good night, Broy. You can experience your first true romantic feelings, you experience a revelation by the sacred silver tree, or you save the local girl named Sophia from a lesser death. Let's find out. This is my first playthrough of this game, so I'm also going in blind. The family expects more and more of you as you grow up. The teachers and tutors hired by your father keep you on your toes all the time. Your life these days is dedicated to studying for your future, for the future of the Brante family. Is it Thundercock Brante, or is it Chad Thundercock Brante? Thank you for the sub, the generic accuser. Generic accuser. Thank you. Your younger brother Nathan keeps growing up too. He can hold a conversation now. You never refuse him when he comes to play, provided you have a bit of free time between your demanding lessons. It is a rainy day today. Father and mother have gone to a ball and they left Nathan in your care. You lose track of time over the books in the sitting room, and Nathan goes off alone to splash in the creek. Soon you hear his voice begging you to come outside. He is on the porch, sobbing, all covered in dirt. You walk up to him as he continues to bawl. It's all that kid. He pushed me into the ditch and called me names. He said I was a fancy pants fool. I said I'll call my brother. He's still there. You have to go punish him, Chad. Nathan points at a lopsided wooden house further down the street where the poorer artisans live. You see two boys lingering there on the porch. They are clearly both commoners, but far from poor. One of them is almost as tall as Nathan, and he frowns in a funny way, just like him. The other looks older, almost your age, but he is more broad-shouldered and taller. His name is Thomas. You've heard it before. Shit, have we? There, Chad, that's him. Nathan points at the younger brother and hides behind your back. Thomas grins and rolls up his sleeves to reveal strong forearms. He must have been helping his father with manual labor for quite some time. Oh no, do I need a character voice? No, I'm not gonna waste a character voice on Thomas Guerrero. Listen up, rich boys. We don't give a damn about you or your friendship. We don't let nobody call our home a stinking rat hole. Your little brother earned his ditch dive. Maybe next time he'll dress normal and stop picking fights with people who can throw him in the mud. Your hands clench into fists before you react. Nathan called them names first. No wonder they did the same. That's how it goes. But pushing your brother into a ditch is too much. Thomas stands tall and confident. He sees no threat in you. You are about to get ready for a fight when you feel a tug on your sleeve. You turn your head to see Nathan. the one who started the whole mess. Now, personally, chat, I don't really care what we do in this situation as long as we can get a little bit of willpower. And there we go, baby. Now what? Is this stream a little buggy? I think I need to listen to him. I think we need to listen to him. We do really, really need some willpower. We'll beat the shit out of plenty of people, but first, chat. First, we need to correct our mistakes from last stream. Nathan keeps tugging on your sleeve harder and harder. Finally, you turn to look at him. Don't fight him, please. Look, he's huge. Let's go home. Who cares about them? You're all sweaty. Excuse me? Are you gonna listen to your litter brother? And walk away like a coward? All you rich boys are chickens. You do nothing but squawk, but when the push comes to shove, you run home to mommy. Thank you for the 1,000 bits, Alexo Sexo. I really appreciate it. Now he's done it. Your patience has run out. You swing at Thomas, and he jumps back, surprised by your assault. It takes him a moment to compose himself, but now he is ready. His fists... Oh shit, I need to burp. His fists cover his face, and he attacks you with a quick jab. Now it is your turn to take a step backwards. You start trading blows, huffing and puffing with rage. The younger brothers gawk in awe at the sight. Thomas does not resort to fancy moves, dirty tricks, or stupid taunts. He displays nothing but skill earned in many a street fight, and his heavy fists aim for your head. You keep dodging him, again and again, trying to reach him. He takes a couple of glancing blows, but easily shakes them off. What a bruiser. You start swinging your fists with greater and greater fury. Your heart is pounding like a hammer. You see nothing but the foe in front of you. How much longer will this take? You're worn out. Your breath grows ragged. Your muscles grow heavy. But there's no way you can give up now. Nathan is watching you. Desperate and out of options, you swing and punch Thomas square in the nose, and then immediately let his fist smack you in the temple. The blow rings through your head like a bell and blinds you for a moment. The world swims before your eyes. You clutch at your head to get your bearings. Thomas is standing in front of you, blood dripping from his nose. You no longer want to fight it out, and it seems your opponent would rather end it too. But you keep standing there, eyeing each other angrily. Then, suddenly, you hear an angry shout right next to you. An enraged man in a craftsman's apron is shaking his fist. Thomas's face contorts in terror right away. It's my father. Run. The punishment for fighting is flogging, and the mere prospect of that makes you run like the wind. Thomas sprints in front of you. You dash across the rotten wooden planks of the back alley, up and over a lopsided fence, across a giant puddle in one leap, and then forward into the tall grass. You hide there and stay quiet. You hear no sounds of pursuit. You exchange glances with Thomas and start laughing. His laughter is loud and infectious, but soon he cuts it short and grows sadder. You know what, chat? Hot take. I kind of like Thomas. I think we might have a friendship brewing. I'm gonna get flogged anyway. My dad's always quick to give me a beating, and then he'll start nagging me about the lots and the prayers for days like he always does. Why do I always get myself mixed up in this stuff? But fighting's the only way to prove you're worth anything, right? The adults didn't see you fighting, you tell him, so all you have to do now is convince them that you weren't. Nosebleeds happen, right? Mother gets nosebleeds all the time. Well, we could try it. Let's hope our little brothers don't tell on us. I'll talk to mine. There's a scratch on your head. Don't let them see it. Good thing I didn't hit you in the face. Yeah, good as new. You assure him that Nathan will never tell, and in return, you make sure he behaves himself so he won't get tossed into a ditch again. With that, you shake hands with Thomas. His handshake is as strong as you would expect based on his fists. You make your way out of the tall grass. You need to leave before Thomas's father goes to your family and complains about you breaking your lot. You come to a realization on the way back. You had no idea the place where you were hiding even existed, and it wasn't too far from home. Thomas smiles in excitement when he hears this. Oh, I know lots of places like that. I'll tell you what, if we get out of this mess today, I'll show you the way to the old fortress wall. It's the perfect place to build your own fort. I dragged a bunch of wooden planks there. Too bad it's no fun to build all alone. My brother never helps. He just gets in the way. You emerge from the muddy back alleys, united by a secret only the two of you know. It seems you've made a friend today. Aww. I like Thomas. What a sweet kid. And we got our willpower up. Swiggity. Made a new friend, a boy named Thomas. Swag. Hold on. Cheers, chat. It is blistering hot today, even for the sun-parched lands of Magra. As soon as you are done with your studies, you dash outdoors and out of the stuffy room. You and Thomas roll up your shirt sleeves, but it barely helps. You would gladly go shirtless, had you only been in the company of other boys. But there are 3 girls in the yard today. They are doing the laundry in a big wash tub, whispering and giggling. If you could, you would gladly keep watching one of them at work. She has big eyes of deep blue. Her dark hair is braided, and her plain gray dress is mended and patched all over. Her name is Sophia. She throws her head back a little when she laughs. The rays of the sun are reflected in her eyes. You, Thomas, and the other boys keep telling silly stories. Anything to make her laugh. You sure do love telling tall tales, Chad Thundercock. Oh, I remember this one time. But then, Sophia hears a voice calling her home. She nods to you and runs across the street smiling. Her light steps carry her forward, but her eyes are looking elsewhere. But then a stone... Thank you for the gifted subs, Squarm. Thank you. A stone on the road catches her foot. She stumbles and falls flat into the dust. The streets... Oh shit. The streets start shaking from the thundering of hooves. Riders appear on the road from around the corner. They bear a coat of arms you recognize right away. A serpent blade upon a field of vert. It symbolizes, please don't make me say this, Miladina's dynasty, the family of your province's archduke. The horses dash forward. A lost wooden toy on the road cracks under their hooves. They will not slow down. They are the nobles, and the rest must make their way for them. Sophia's in their way, just now starting to get back on her feet. Her mother's crying for her desperately from behind the fence door. You freeze in terror. The riders surely see the girl. Are they going to stop, or are they going to trample her? In only a few moments, the beautiful girl will be toppled, trampled, crushed. Oh, shit. Chat, can we afford to die here? I don't think so. We've already died once. Now, she won't die permanently. Everybody in this universe dies 3 times. Stay. I think I have to stay. I know, but the stats. That's a lot of early death. I don't think we can afford it, chat. We must rein in the simp, chat. She'll... I hate to throw her under the hooves, but I don't think we can afford to save her. We have a lot of difficult choices to make in this playthrough. You stand frozen by the roadside, unable to look away as the cloud of dust covers the entire street. You feel as if a massive, maddened beast, whipped into a merciless frenzy, has passed you by. You hear no screams, no cracking bones, nothing but the deafening din of hooves. Yes, people do revive. Everybody in this universe has 3 lives. Once the horses are gone and the dust settles, you can finally see the road again, and the repulsive blob of blood, flesh, and bone left on it. You can still see the traces of Sophia in that mess, her dark hair, the remains of her dress, but it is no longer her. Yikes. Sophia's earthly remains slowly dissipate and melt into the air. Her mother's eyes are filled with grief as she watches. She hunches over and slowly walks back into the house. You can still hear the riders far away down the road. None of them even bothered to look back. Your friends walk away, at a loss for words. You make your way home, dazed by what you have seen. You are still dazed as you retell these events to your mother, unable to look up from the floor. After a moment of silence, she embraces you and calms you down. Poor girl. What a terrible, painful death. But you must know that it was not her true death. By the twins' mercy, we are all given enough time in this world. Should you die before your time, you will be brought back by their grace. For 3 times they will rescue you from a terrible fate, but the 4th death is true and final for all. God, I fucking hate the rich. Every loss of a life we were granted at our birth is a heavy blow to us, but the gods told us not to mourn a lesser death. Everybody will keep on living as though nothing has happened, even Sophia's parents. Their family is poor. They have no family crypt like we do. When the girl's soul comes back to life, her body will be reborn in the city church with all her wounds healed. Do not mourn her, my son, but thank the twin gods for their justice. You see Sophia by her house a few days later, and she looks completely fine, without so much as a scratch. The other children tell you that her parents now forbid her to leave the yard after dying such an early first death. You call out Sophia's name. She looks at you briefly, then walks back inside. Sophia never talks to you again. Rough. That's okay, she wasn't that cute. Sophia disappeared after the terrible incident with the horses. Her friends gossiped that her parents sent her off to serve a rich, noble dynasty. You haven't seen each other since that day, but you still remember Sophia's eyes, the sunlight shining in them. Man. Have a good night, Buckshot. Sad. But no matter what, life goes on. You are 10 years old now. Your studies continue, and you are learning more about the land you live in. Anazote is an ancient city in an imperial province by the name of Magra. All soil in Magra was turned to ash eons ago, scorched by magic during the rebellion of Duke Char please no. Milanidas. The magical arts are all gone now, but the scorched earth has remained barren and infertile ever since. Since then, the entire province has laid barren, tormented by cold and scorching winds in equal measure, with few precious plants taking root on their own. All fertile land in Magra is bought elsewhere and brought here by an endless caravan of carts and carriages. To pay for food and soil, the cities of Magra became skilled in many trades, primarily mining and digging for metals and stone. Last fall, there was an explosion just outside the city, followed by clouds of thick smoke. The first such incident frightened the citizens, but then explosions and smoke became an everyday occurrence. Soon, everyone grew used to it. Father explains that the miners are using a new invention called gunpowder. It makes it easier for them to... What's with the spaghetti chat? Is this from Discord? God damn it, degenerates. Father explains that the miners are using a new invention called gunpowder. It makes them easier to reach the precious stones and metals buried deep within the earth. Then one day, a thunderous explosion rocks the city, and black, billowing smoke covers the houses. People are stuck in their homes, all windows tightly shut. The air is impossible to breathe. Nathan coughs all the time. Gloria and you cough only when nobody is looking. If Mother hears it, oh shit. She'll make you inhale those hot herbal vapors just like Nathan. It takes 2 days for the black smoke to disperse. People pour out onto the streets to meet their friends. Thomas is eager to share everything he knows about this incident with you. God, I relate to this. My parents made my siblings do sinus rinses whenever they were sick, so I just never told them I was sick. They took lots of burnt up people to the city temple. Mom told me she was helping the healers. There are many rumors. Some claim it was the work of a beast stirred from its slumber, while others say it's the surviving witches that continue to threaten the order in which the order in the Empire with their accursed powers. But as for you, you patiently wait for Father to come home, and then you'll ask him about it. Father spends day and night working in the prefecture, while Mother spends all her time in prayer. What is a sinus rinse? You can look it up. I just refuse to let it happen to me. It takes a full week for Father to finally come home, and he's almost completely spent. You muster enough courage during dinner to ask him what happened in the city. Father raises his head, his face a bleak, wary mask, and starts muttering his proclamation. It's almost as if he didn't see you. It's the mine outside the city. Hold on. They were trying to get into a vein of ore. There was an explosion. The mine caved in, and the black smoke started flowing. Many workers died there. It was all because Count El Velasco, who owns the mine, wanted them to start mining that vein before they were ready. Some of the workers weren't even reborn. Perhaps the twins thought their final time had come. The prefecture had been inundated with complaints from families who had lost their breadwinners, asking the judges for help. Many people also lost their cattle to the black smoke. Count El Velasco blames gunpowder for the disaster. The prefecture and the newspaper just repeat whatever he says. But it's plain old greed and tyranny of noblemen that are to blame. Why is the welfare of our province always paid for with commoner lives? Then, without warning, he grows silent again. You keep thinking about it for days. Can a human life really end so easily? A single moment of bad luck, and you die, only to reemerge from the temple or the family crypt with a new black mark on your arm. Or worse, you remain where you fell, dead, never to be reborn again. Ever. Sounds like we need to start a revolution, chat. That's why we're building for determination. During lunch, Father tells you to stay home in the evening and prepare to meet some important guests. Your elder brother Stefan will return home by dinner tonight. Joining him will be your grandfather Gregor Brante, that fucking asshole, as well as a noble friend of the family. You are excited about your brother's return. It has been years since you last saw him. How has he changed during his years away from home? You and your father await the guests anxiously. The doorbell rings. 3 people are standing outside. Grandfather is the first to come in, naturally. He has not changed a bit since his last visit, still eyeing the house with contempt, looking for any reason to demean it. Grandfather is followed by a stately young man dressed in a jacket embroidered in silver whom you barely recognize as your brother. Stefan casts a glance at your threadbare clothes, your dirty fingernails, and smirks. God, he really do got the fuckboy haircut. The last to enter the house is a personable gentleman with a worn-out, wrinkled face. You've heard a lot about this man from father and grandfather. He is Baron Augustin Elborn, Stefan's uncle, a family friend, and the province's prefect, which means he is the head of judge and thus father's superior. Sir Elborn smiles lightly and offers you his hand. And this must be your younger son, Chad, yes? You have your father's eyes, young man. He looks like a knockoff Part 8 Josuke. That's fucked up, man. Father bows slightly to grandfather and Sir Born. But there is a moment of quiet when Stefan's turn comes. Father reaches out to him awkwardly, expecting an embrace. There is a question in Stefan's eyes as he looks at grandfather. The old man shakes his head, almost imperceptibly. We noblemen... Wait, he had a voice, didn't he? We noblemen oughtn't put our emotions on public display, Father. I can't do it seriously. What a fucking asshole. Not even after a lengthy separation. There is no embrace. Instead, Stefan nods to Father curtly. He responds in kind, his face devoid of emotion. After the greeting, you proceed to the sitting room. Elborn is the first to enter. He kisses Mother's hand and Gloria's too, and tussles Nathan's hair after he sees him hiding by the table. Grandfather acknowledges them with a glum nod. Greetings, Lydia Brante. I remember you were kind to me when I was but a child. And you must be Nathan. You could barely walk when I last saw you. Your elder brother ignores Gloria completely. Not even a greeting. You proceed to the dining room in a dignified manner and take your seats. The dishes smell delicious, but they are merely punctuate the overwhelming tension at the table. Elborn is the only one with a friendly smile on his face. The dinner is splendid, Lydia. Did you choose the dishes yourself? You have a truly refined palate. It warms my heart to know that Stefan spent his early years with you. Womanly care always does a child good, no matter the estate. Your fork freezes in the air halfway to your mouth. You expected many things from a noble of the sword, but words of praise for a low-born woman are not one of them. You cast a glance at Grandfather. He looks like he is about to choke on those words. It would do my grandson more good to stay at boarding school among his equals. Please, Gregor, parenting is no less important. Nothing can replace a mother's love, I cannot deny it. It saddens me greatly that my late sister could not be there to raise Stefan. But there was still a family for him, and he was surrounded by love. How could that be bad? And besides, his father was by his side all the while. A father's example is always the best. After all, Robert earned the judge's rank the same way you did. Your grandson will surely follow your footsteps, and who knows, perhaps even the younger men of the Brante family will contribute to the... You clumsy, low-born cretin. Everyone is startled by this sudden outburst. Grandfather's face turns red. He is glaring at the young lady servant, holding a pitcher over a glass. Stefan is sitting right next to her, dabbing a napkin on a fresh stain on his jacket. Begone this instant. The lady servant runs away, leaving the pitcher on the small table by the door. After a quiet moment, Elborn smiles again. It appears the servants have left us, yet dinner is far from over. Worry not, Uncle. There are enough commoners at this table to keep us served with food and drink. Stefan glares at Gloria across the table. She is sitting right next to you. She shrinks down and hunches over his gaze. Father furrows his brows. Mother covers her mouth with trembling hands. Grandfather sneers. Stefan's gaze does not move. The silence lasts far too long. Then she starts to rise from her chair. If the Brante gentleman so wish it... Your hands clench into fists under the table. How can he bring himself to humiliate his own family, his own mother and sister like this? It is all his grandfather's doing. Stefan could not even bring himself to embrace father without his permission. And yet they are noblemen, and they have the right to act this way. If there's any way this dinner can become even more unbearable, you do not want to see it. Yo, fuck this kid. Little rat boy. Are you kidding me? I don't want to bond with Gregor. Oh, that's really good. Now, I could insult him. We could be petty. Or I can get a little bit of willpower. But ingenuity is a new stat that I haven't seen before, and I don't join Gloria. I'm also leaning towards join Gloria. You rise from the table and help your sister wait on your family. You deliberate for a moment, and then take the napkin off your lap and join to rise Gloria. A moment later, you hear the sound of another chair moving. Your mother joins you. The three of you now refill glasses, serve food, and clear away dirty dishes. Sir Elborn tries to make small talk with father, but in vain, so he focuses his attention on grandfather and Stefan. Thank you for the bits, the collector Raven. Your reading voice is divine. Thank you, I appreciate it. Grandfather is pleased to inform him of Stefan's achievements at the boarding school, especially his exemplary sword fighting skills. He constantly stresses the importance of your elder brother for the future of the family. You listen to him dispassionately as you continue serving new dishes to the table. As you wait at the nobleman's table, you, your sister, and mother never bump into each other. Your labor is impeccable. Grandfather could not have found fault with it, even if he tried. Your shoulders and back are aching, but being a manservant inside your own house hurts even more. When the guests finally leave, Mother and Gloria embrace you with relief. You did not neglect your relatives and share their humiliation. And the composure that you have shown gave you new strength. Oh, hell yeah. We are full of power. Have a good night, Spiral. Hot, dry wind sweeps through the city from the barren lands around it. The noble citizens of Anazote prefer to remain in their chambers while the commoners huddle in tents or in the shade of the silver tree. You are on an errand right now. Your father wrote a letter to a noble acquaintance and you are to deliver it. Thomas, the boy down the street, is tagging along. The two of you are inseparable now. Sorry that you have to go to work, Hamath. The errand is an easy one, so you decide to take this opportunity to loiter around the part of Anazote where the nobles live. So here you are, in the middle of the city square, resting on the ancient brickwork by the old fountain in the merciful shade of the gargantuan silver tree. Thomas is by your side, lazily slouching on the edge of the fountain's basin. It's a hard life for commoners like you and me. Either you break your back in a workshop day and night, hoping somebody will buy your goods someday, or you become a manservant to some noble. You will never get a chance to enjoy life. This is our lot, you remind him. We work and endure and suffer. But Thomas waves your words away. Yeah, I know all that already. Mother keeps drilling that stuff into me. We must be humble, our strength is patience and persistence, so yeah, I say, but I want to make my fortune no matter what. So ain't that living by the lot, I ask you? Thank you for the bits, Satan Chuvak. Eat him but then eat spaghetti. Maybe I will eat spaghetti this week. But the lots, they ain't easy. Let's take you, for example, Brante. Your father's a nobleman, but even that doesn't make you one. Just look at your hands. You never had to work as hard as me, but we have the same lot, so we're supposed to suffer the same. Or look at your father. He's a judge. He toils at the prefecture day and night doing his judging, and he's a noble? I've never seen an Arcanian work as hard as he does. You shrug. The Arcanians are a different race. The books say they were born to rule over humans. That's an interesting lore drop. They are never commoners, always nobles of the sword by birth. They founded the empire after subduing all the human kingdoms on the continent. Humans will never be their equals. Arcanians are always better, smarter, stronger, and their skin is a noble shade of blue. If the books are to be believed, of course. You've never seen one yourself. Your idle chatter is suddenly interrupted by a rugged-looking guardsman dressed in black and green. He chases you away from the fountain. Common rabble like you have no place here. You hear the clattering hooves and wheels against the cobblestone and see flags bearing a coat of arms. A sable serpent on a field of vert. It makes you squirm. It's the Archduke's coat of arms. The Milan... oh my god, not again. Milanidis dynasty. The carriage door opens, revealing a young lady in a luxurious dress. You cannot look away from her. Those dainty shoulders suggested but not revealed by the cut of her dress, her black hair cascading down them, her stately, slim silhouette, her pouty lips and prim nose, and those eyes, dark like the night sky. The way she moves, fluidly, gracefully, and most incredible of all, her skin glows an azure blue. She is a masterpiece given life. She is an Arcanian. Clear the way for me. The Milanitis guardsmen work quickly to clear the way to the fountain for the Arcanian lady. The searing sun dances on her skin in bizarre patterns. With one elegant motion, she reveals a handkerchief, then leans over the basin and wipes her head and neck in its cool water. Well, Alvi, that's Octavia Melanidus. I can't. I'm calling it Melandus. Our Archduke's own daughter. The Archnean turns away and proceeds gracefully back to her carriage. You see something slip out of her hands and fall onto the cobblestones right next to you. Her handkerchief. It's right there by your feet. Intricate craftsmanship, expensive woolen woven fabric, delicately decorated with emerald filigree. Your heart skips a beat. Will you dare draw the beautiful Archnean's attention in order to return her lost possession? Or would you rather not attempt to cross the chasm between you and her? Yo, she's gonna kick our ass if we do this. Matters of the heart. Stash it. Don't sit for the nobility. Hell yeah. Stash the trophy. We can build a relationship with Thomas if we do this. God, I bet it's so sweaty. Yeah, this is a fuck the rich run. I think we're gonna stash it. Broship. We're going for the broship. Octavia finishes her graceful return to the carriage. It takes off and the carriage disappears from the square. Then you look at Thomas and show him the handkerchief you are holding. It's time to show him how to start earning that fortune. Your eyes single out a traveling peddler in the crowd. When you finally get his attention, you pull out the splendid handkerchief from your pocket. The peddler smirks knowingly, finders keepers, and the noble who lost it certainly won't be weeping over it. Truth be told, it is a truly exquisite handkerchief. It still looks quite presentable and will fetch a fair price. After some haggling with the stingy peddler, you trade it for a small fortune, 4 coins. Half of this sum you give to Thomas. But this was all your handiwork, Chad. Wait. You just grin at him. You can find the next handkerchief. Thomas laughs, and you head off to the fruit stall together. Yo, God, I hope we're friends forever. We're probably not gonna be. This game is way too dark for that. But we can enjoy it while we can. Thieves Guild? Can't we start a Thieves Guild? 12 years old now, you overhear an important conversation. It is a spring night, and Mother has just sent everyone to bed. You walk past Father's study and hear voices coming from beyond the door. Grandfather is yelling, and Father is replying quietly. The elder Brante men are fighting, arguing about the place of commoners in the city. You sneak outside to avoid Mother's attention and hide next to the open window of the study. Perhaps they'll mention you too. That lowlife idiot had the gall to pay me a visit and beg me for some service. He had the insolence to ask me outright. He thought I was going to support his claim for the chairman's seat in the lesser quorum. How dare he? Father, please listen. Mayor Egmont may be a lowborn, but he carries a lot of clout. A lot of what, Robert Brante? He owns 5 iron mines. A friend like him could be quite useful. Should he become a chairman of the lesser quorum? I don't give a damn who this Egmont is, Robert. What he is, however, is a lowborn. His lot is humility and obedience. The likes of him can never rule anything. They're nothing but a flock of sheep that need a firm, noble hand to guide them. I could use a firm, noble hand. I wasted so many years trying to quash that quorum decree, but that accursed Cornelius Tempest did everything in his power to make the Emperor sign that pathetic screed, and now even I can't, dude. His clout, I guess, I don't know, whatever, man. And now even lowlives can wield power. True power, Robert. Just the right to discuss the size of the Archduke's tax, nothing more. That is only the beginning. What's next? Are they going to arm the lowlives now? Make them into judges? If the Empire rejects foundations and the lots, the entire edifice would crumble. Ugh, who am I telling this to? It is already crumbling, and you, my son, and my heir are a harbinger of its destruction. Father, I'm begging you. I do not wish to marry a 3rd time. Lydia is a good wife and a dutiful mother to my children. If you would only allow her to, I will allow them nothing. Neither Egmont nor that freeloading wench of yours. What will you want me to do next? Live by the laws of the lowborn? I can already see where this is going, and I'd rather run my own sword through my gut than live in a country where nobles and lowlives share the same rights. My only dream is to see the name of Brante in the Blue Book, but that dream will never come true. They will never call me Venerable El Brante, and it's because of this marriage of yours. My only hope now is to hear Stefan addressed in such a matter one day. Thank the twins I didn't let you ruin the boy. He's about to grow up a true nobleman. His children will bear the name of El Brante. You have 2 more grandsons. You asshole. Those spineless milksops are the common lot. They're incapable of anything. The best your middle son could do is sneak into the Imperial College and get ennobled by the mantle, although I have grave doubts about even that. As for the downtrodden Nathan, I hold out no hope for him whatsoever. Was political influence in the 1860s? What an interesting reemergence. You hear grandfather's heavy footsteps, the thudding of his cane, and the slamming of the door. It is time to sneak back home before you're discovered. Power. Thank you for the gifted sub, Weirdo Beardo. So we're sitting at -3 power. Interesting. I guess we have just negative stats. You started studying at the school of Sir Tibor and began to master the sciences. Finally, the day comes when the teachers stop coming to the house. But before you can breathe a sigh of relief and put away the books, Father asks you to come to his study. You've grown, my son. It's time for you to continue your education away from home. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs, Grey Probe. I really, really appreciate it. Wait a moment, I gotta drink. Hydrate, chat. Again, thank you, Grey Probe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've chosen a deserving school for you, Sir Tibor's School for the Children of Noblemen and Well-Off Commoners. Naturally, it is not a boarding school for nobles, so you will study there during the day and come home in the evening. You share the news with your best friend, Thomas. Sir Tibor's school, eh? Yeah, I gotta ask my parents to send me there too as soon as they get the coin together. Father says his workshop has toiled day and night for years to save up for my education. The school is based. Have a good night, Maximus. In an ancient estate of Arcadian design, the classrooms are tall and spacious with massive benches. The sounds of scraping quills and lectures on history and imperial law and theology echo through the vaulted ceilings. The rules are strict, the lessons tiring. Restless Thomas keeps getting distracted, and several times he gets his hand slapped with a stick for it. Every teacher demands flawless mastery of their subject. Every day, Father asks you about your studies. You've already told him twice how Magra joined the Empire and how the noble's court of honor is different from the commoner's civil court in the city prefecture, but Father keeps pressing you to work even harder. Thank you for the sub, Pale Rider. When it is time to go to bed, Mother will not let you sleep until you recite a newly learned prayer for her. And when it's time to go to school, you promise her every day that you will behave with great humility and steer clear of insolent behavior of any kind. For you still live by the commoner's lot, and that lot is hard work and suffering. Your first month in school draws to a close, and the teachers announce that there will be exams at the end of the month to determine the best and worst students in each subject. I love the based school. Father insists that you devote all your spare time to studying law and history if you wish to follow in his footsteps. But when you speak to Mother every day, you start considering theology. You still remember the revelations and divine visions that came to you in your earliest years. You have only 1 day until the exam. You've locked yourself away in your room. It is already getting late. Your desk is covered in handwritten notes surrounded by leather-bound books. Just looking at them makes you queasy, but you have to read through all of them again, at least one for your subjects. There's a nagging thought on your mind. Thomas ended up in big trouble the other day. He got into a fight with several boys who lived next street. They heard about your wooden fortress and got in an outrage by the fortification built by commoners. They swore to dismantle it tonight. Thomas swore he would defend the fortress until the end. Perhaps you should abandon the books and rescue your friend in need. But then you hear your little brother Nathan knocking on the door. He stands there shyly, not saying a word. He often does that, standing still and staying speechless until either you speak first or he runs away. But this time, he actually says something. The door's locked. Are you okay, Chad? Is there anything I can do to help? Your head is spinning. This is the last evening before the school exam. If you fail, your family will be very disappointed. You have to refresh your memory on law or theology, either one or the other. But Thomas and your fort are about to be stormed. Why today of all days? You grind your teeth in rage at the thought. Nathan is by the door, trying not to bother you. He wants to help you the only way he can, for reasons known only to him. Will you accept his help? Yo, we gotta go help Thomas, though! We gotta help our bro, we gotta help our comrade! Bro before info! Yeah, sorry, fuck Nathan. We're gonna start a revolution with Thomas. You push Nathan out of the room. He cannot possibly help you prepare for the exam. Once you are sure nobody is behind you, you open the window and climb into the yard and over the fence. And then you run like the wind to your wooden fort where Thomas is in peril. The battle for the fort has already begun. Thomas is cornered. He swings a loose wooden plank, fending off 3 boys at once. This is not a fair fight by any means. Your friend is rugged enough to have a fighting chance against 2 of them, but 3 is too many for him to handle alone. Where have you been, Chad? They're about to smash our fort. Get them! You flank the assailants and slam into them at full speed, channeling the cavalry of the holy warriors. You take them by surprise as you pull one of the aggressors away and knock him out with a punch to the jaw. Thomas cheers you up. You team up and make short work of the remaining foes. Your enemies retreat in shame. Thomas got a black eye, and his knuckles are all covered in blood, but he looks unusually pleased with himself. Couldn't have done it without you. Just look at them trying to tell us where to build our fort. Okay, time to fix her up. Your score on the exam was merely satisfactory, but still well above a failing grade. The family is not too happy with you, but life goes on, and your studies continue. We are 12. It's no biggie. You know you could have worked harder to prove yourself to your teachers, but your wooden fort still stands proud, and that is what matters. God. I love the bromance. Your education continues. As you study imperial law, you come to realize that there is a certain hierarchy even within the noble estate. It seems your father's status is not quite equal to that of the more eminent human and Arcanian gentry. You return home with this new information at your disposal. Father asks you about school after dinner, as he always does. And what is the difference between nobles of the mantle and those of the sword, Chad? You already have an answer ready. The latter's status is hereditary, meaning that it is passed down from father to son. After Arcanians, nobles of the sword are the most eminent humans in the Empire. They own lands and estates, they fill offices of the highest ranks, and the names of their bloodlines are preserved within the Great Blue Book. God, as an ex-law kid, a current law kid, Blue Book gives me PTSD. Nobility of the sword can only be granted only by the overseer of the province or the emperor himself. And how are such eminent people addressed? With the honorific L before their name, you respond. Sir Augustine L. Bourne, for example. The Blue Book is... No. It's a reference book for legal citation, which is incredibly complex and changes depending on the state, which is really fucked up. Father pats you on the shoulder, clearly pleased. And what about the Arcanians and their status? What have you learned about them? The Arcanians stand above all human gentry. They are born to rule over humans regardless of their titles. No L is required when addressing them. They need no honorifics. for the names of the ancient dynasties are known to all. Father nods somberly. Yes, we can never be their equals. Do whatever an Arcadian tells you and never defy them. Ever. And what about grandfather and me? Where do we stand as nobles? Thank you for the sub-angel matter, I appreciate it. That is easy. Father and grandfather are nobles of the mantle. This title cannot be inherited, but it can be earned by any commoner as a reward for great service to the Empire in the Legion or as a civil servant. I really appreciate it, Weirdo Beardo. I work hard on my models. Father suddenly grows quiet and looks you in the eye intently. Yes, and someday you will earn a noble title too, son. All in due time. Hydration chat. I did not go to law school. I finished my bachelor's in legal studies this spring, but I did have to use the blue book very often. Sir Tibber's school teaches children of all stripes. Nobles of the mantle and low-born parents could send their sons there. And every passing day, the children of the noblemen invent new ways to snub and bully the commoners. Most of the time, the bully leading them is Didic, the son of the secretary for the imperial chancellery and a self-important snob. The sons of noblemen will never pick on you. However, they know that your father has been ennobled by the mantle. However, Didic and his retinue soon choose Thomas as their favorite victim. Time and time again, you ask your friend not to pay them any mind, but again and again, Thomas grows angry and snaps at their self-satisfied mockery. It is early morning. The students are busy flocking to the classroom for the next lesson. You wave Thomas over when you see him. He waves back at you, and then a bucket full of slop splashes on him. Needless to say, it is the work of Didic and his entourage. You hear his familiar creaky laughter. The tailor's son stinks. How dare he sit next to decent folk? Thomas clenches his fists. You're dead, Didic. He throws himself at Didic's haughty and entourage like a soldier ready to wage war. Foreshadowing? No, I've banished the R. His name is Didic. It's what he deserves. He attacks them first. This is just what they wanted. And they are expected, and they are free to retaliate. He barely makes one movement before 4 pairs of hands grab him at once. Didic sneers and kicks your friend in the belly. Thomas gasps for air and starts coughing. You stand between them as Didic readies another kick. The nobleman's son cocks an eyebrow. Why do you mingle with commoners? He asks. Your father is a noble of the mantle. You ought to be friends with your own kind. Your equals, not the dirt beneath your feet. Behind him, 4 boys hold Thomas down as he struggles furiously. The other students are watching you, frozen in fear. Didic haughtily extends a hand towards you. He clearly expects you to shake it. Yo, bros before nobles. Okay, hold on. You sick the school authorities on Didic and his retinue. The children of the parents who have been ennobled by the mantle still bear the commoner's lot. You challenge the nobleman's son to single combat. We get some nobility by doing this. That's interesting. You'd think it would be the opposite. We're fighting him. We're fighting him. We're gonna beat the shit out of this man. You do not shake his hand. Instead, you challenge Didic to display at least some dignity by fighting you one-on-one. That is, if he considers himself a nobleman's son, of course. Thank you for the gift. Oh, wow. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs, Jaggermoon. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. I kiss you on forehead. Blah. Blah. Didic's face grows serious. There is no way for him to refuse this challenge in public. Didic makes a sign, and Thomas is released and pushed to the floor. He gets back on his feet, cursing and itching to rush at them again, but you hold your friend back. The teacher of Imperial Law comes into the room just in time. Everybody returns to their seats. A day full of lessons begins. You keep daydreaming of Didic's face and how you are going to put an end to that nasty smile of his. Thank you for the sub, Yusuf. Thank you. And thank you for the sub, Fast AU. Let's catch that bastard together and clean his clock. He hurt me, not you. The deal has been made, you tell your friend. This is a matter of your honor now. Thomas huffs angrily, but agrees. Dick is already waiting for you in a narrow back street by the school, his retinue by his side. You walk forward and give him an opportunity to end this dispute once and for all. This is the nobleman's way. If you win this battle, Dick and the other children of nobles will never pick on the commoner sons again. If he wins, you will never stand in their way and protect other students. You will fight him one-on-one. Dick walks forward uncertainly. You both roll up your sleeves. You raise your fists in a fighting stance. Dick tries to copy your movements. You hit him first. Dick does manage to land several glancing blows, but he is fighting a losing battle. He has never been in a real street fight. Thomas nods in approval. You've learned a lot from him. It does not take long for Dick to stop fighting back. One more blow, he squeals and raises his hands. You have won. Damn, I guess it was worth it to get into all those street fights, huh? Thank you for the bits, Mega Man. You sound so much like a mom reading a story to her children. It's very common to listen to. I appreciate it. You turn to the other nobleman's sons with a victorious look on your face. No more teasing. And if anyone says so much as one bad word about Thomas, they'll pay. Dick's former retinue disperses silently. God. You have a bad feeling this will bite us in the ass. Oh, almost certainly. Your theology teaches... Jesus, that was loud. Your theology teachers tell you more about Anazote. It is more than just the provincial capital, it is also the sacred place blessed by the gods. It is where the twin gods' first disciples spilled their blood, and from that blood grew the sacred silver tree. Its enormous foliage hangs over the city. You see its branches in the sky every day, but you have never approached the trunk of the tree yourself. Today, you will be taking your first trip to the silver tree. Your class is visiting a service in the great temple by the tree's very roots. Thanks to your theology teacher, you and the other students will witness this landmark of the twins' advent up close. Everybody is excited. Pee on the roots? We've already pissed off the gods once. Little bit of hydration. Absorb the tree and become God. Apparently there are some very, very weird roots you can do in this game. Soon, you and the other boys enter the slums surrounding the church's district of Anazote. The roots are pulsating under your feet. They spread underground all throughout the area. Pathetic, cramped hovels and filthy streets surround the trunk of the tree. They are home to paupers, day laborers, and preachers. The people of the district bow humbly to you and point you towards the temple. They seem at peace, despite the abject poverty in which they live. All who live directly beneath the tree are filled with its divine grace, your teacher says. People come here to make peace with the world and their fate in it. Your class is unusually quiet. Everyone listening to the rustling of the leaves and the underground beating of the roots. The sky above you is obscured by the tree's canopy. You find the temple of the twin gods right next to the tremendous trunk of the tree. It almost seems a part of it. There is a crowd there, pilgrims dressed in traveling clothes, paupers and beggars, common people of the city, and the occasional well-dressed noble. There are arguments among some people who are gathered in small separate groups. Many people are wandering around, staring upwards at the tree's branches. The tree impresses you with its might and the calm emanating from it. Holy shit. Thank you for the 25 gifted subs. Oh, fucking moth. Thank you. I really, really, really appreciate it. It means a lot. Thank you again. You are filled with a desire to sit down and think of the world, to learn something about yourself, to touch the silver-white bark and hearken to the whispering leaves. You are distracted enough to fall back from the rest of your classmates. You notice a small path. It should take you right to the trunk. A tall, red-haired woman walks out of the crowd of pilgrims. She is wearing a worn white robe. She is no longer young, but her face is youthful and covered in freckles. Her hands clutch a book. You have never seen this lady pilgrim before, yet she looks at you almost as if she has recognized a lifelong friend. She beckons you and says her name, Matilda, a preacher from Astynia. What she says next shakes you to your very core. It is commendable to see a young man so keen to learn the teachings of the twins, she says. Yet you will never follow the light of the truth within the walls of the temple. Inside, you will only find lies about the lots, the erring words of prophet Isatia sanctified by the passage of centuries. Yet anyone who sets out to read the accounts of the twins' own lives knows that they never so much as mentioned the lots. The red-haired preacher's words frighten you. They clash with everything you've heard from Mother. Everything you've been taught at school. The lots are a lie? You freeze in fear. Should you argue with Matilda or ask her for more information? Or should you treat her as a mad woman and catch up with your classmates? Yo, Matilda's kinda based. You suddenly feel a small, warm hand grasp your own. You see a girl right next to you. She's just a little older than you, wearing a black dress, threadbare yet almost spotless. Her hair is covered by a handkerchief with only a single golden lock showing. Her brown eyes are burning with rage. Her hands pulling you away from the red-haired preacher. You stare in confusion at the young girl, your cheeks flushed by the sudden touch. There's just a little bit of color on her cheeks too, but then she starts speaking to you quickly. Don't listen to her, she's dangerous. Come to the temple with me. Only there will you see the truth. Yo, I kinda... You stand there, surrounded by the crowd of praying pilgrims and the sounds of shuffling feet, torn between two people you've never seen before. And each of them expects you to follow her. But all the while, you hear the whispering of the wind in the tree's branches. The branches reach out to you, almost as if the tree wishes to speak to you itself. Can you hear its voice? God, why can't I do it? I need more insight? Oh, no. I kind of... Tree? Leave them and approach the tree, but I kind of like Matilda. I'm interested in what Matilda has to say. Hold on, what are the consequences of this? This one gives me a destiny, but I kind of don't want to take it. You probably want the stats. Tree. It's really split. Matilda's so base, though. I kind of want to stay with Matilda. We've gotten plenty of willpower up to this point. Let's pump up our spirituality a bit. We can get close to the tree another time. You shrug, smile sheepishly at the girl, and walk towards the red-haired preacher. This is Matilda of Astynia. She speaks too strangely to be ignored. You feel she will be leaving soon anyway. And the temple, surely the temple is not going anywhere. The lady preacher hands her book to you. There are words on the cover. The Lives of the Twins. The book is so heavy you almost drop it. The crowd around you barely allows for a proper reading. The best you can do is flip through the pages and hope to glimpse a message or two from it. Matilda's hushed voice comments on each new page. Hold on, I need to back break ASMR, 1 second. Oof. This book was written by the disciples of the twins. When the twin gods descended and brought faith into the world, they walked the lands with them. It is filled with many stories of wonders and battles, as well as recordings of the twins' own sermons and dialogues. They discuss many things that now guide the living: the fate that awaits us on the shining pillar, the eternal life after true death, the profane evil of magic. Yet Matilda points out something that you cannot help but notice yourself. There's not one mention of the lots in this book. How can this be? You ask her. It is what it is, she responds. The twins never spoke of them. They never left any teaching behind, nothing but their deeds and their own lives in this world. You frown. Then how come we all know about the lots now? They exist thanks to Isadius, she says. Isadius, favored by the gods, the elder's favorite disciple, walked the lands by his side and through all his hardships until his fatal end in Eterna. They came to be, she explains, when people came to Isadius and asked him how they should live. Yet Isadius was just a man, and his teachings of the lot were not a divine revelation, but a speculation of his own devising. This feels much tougher than learning prayers. So if the teachings of the lot came not from the gods, but rather from their student, what does that mean for you? What does that mean for the people? A new faith, the red-haired preacher says with a smile. You think about her words for a long time, as the silver-haired tree whispers above your head, the very tree grown from the blood of the people who walked the land with the younger and the elder. You keep thinking about it, even as you make your way home and into bed. Your conclusions bring you no comfort. If that strange lady preacher was right, then you are supposed to be free to interpret the twins' words yourself, which means that you and only you should be responsible for your life and fate in the hereafter. But who can tell for sure? I have a religion for you, Chad Thundercock. You cannot fall asleep that night. So they were lying to you all this time? In the morning, you still mutter off a prayer and the words of your lot. To work, endure, and suffer. But is it all worth it if the lots don't really exist? Or is it the will of the twins after all? Did they actually speak their will through Isadius, and those who define the will are defining the true order of the world? Those questions will remain in your mind for a long time. It's okay, fuck Jean. Shit, I'm losing my earbuds. 1 second. Alright, we got a little spiritual. Maybe we didn't piss off the gods after all. She's just the one who said I was the one. Another school day has ended. You are making your way home, still mulling over the things you learned from your teachers. The founding of the empire, the eternal and unshakable rule of a single dynasty, the 3 estates, each with its own rights, and what an odd sort of order the world has, and yet so mysterious. At least, it sounds that way when your teachers talk about it. Mother's waiting for you on the porch. She smiles gently when she sees you, yet her expression still shows great concern. Father left on a trip to several distant Magran towns a few days ago. Since then, Mother's been trying to tell you something, but she seems uncertain. Son, could you put your things away and come pray with me? You join Mother in prayer to the twins. She prays with a fervent sincerity, her head bowed low, reciting the words of obedience to them and their greater design in a barely audible whisper. You repeat after her, just as she has taught you ever since you were a little boy. When the prayer ends, Mother sighs and turns to you. Chad, my son, you are 13 now. You'll be grown soon. It's time you learned about certain things that are important to our family. Difficult things. It's about your father and me. About our marriage. You gaze curiously into Mother's eyes. I'm sure you've wondered about this before. Your father is a nobleman of the mantle, so how could he marry a commoner with another man's child? But you see, Chad, your father, when his first wife, Amalia Elborn, died, it was a painful blow to him. He lost the will to live, lost all purpose. He felt like his own destiny was cut short that day as well. And then he met me. You know the troubles I had in the past. I went to the prefecture as a petitioner to ask them for help, protection, justice. When I was a young girl, I worked at a small shop that sold crockery and dishes. A nobleman took a liking to me. May his name be forever forgotten. The twins know I was humbled and honored his lot to rule, but he took me by force. Yikes. Mother falls silent, summoning the courage to continue. Gloria is that nobleman's daughter, but he was outraged. How could I have the gall to burden him with lowborn progeny? He turned me out on the street with that little baby girl in my arms. Mother's voice is shaking now. You take her hand tenderly. I had no home, no honor, nowhere to go, no one to help me. When I went to the prefecture, I didn't really think the judges there would help me find justice against my former master. But when Sir Robert heard my plea, his eyes met mine. And I believe that, at that very moment, the twins themselves granted him the gift of their love. Your father told me there was nothing he could do to make that detestable nobleman marry me. But he would never abandon me and baby Gloria, and if I agreed, he would take me into his own home. Tears are running down Mother's cheeks. And I knew it, my son. I knew how much his honor and reputation would suffer. But caring for me brought him back to life. It's like he experienced another sacrament. He rediscovered his noble purpose, his lot to rule and protect and care for others. But his decision to marry me, he is still paying for it today. Your father had the courage to defy your grandfather, the founder of his bloodline. If only you knew how much he had to endure, my son. If only you knew the despicable rumors we heard about Brantes all over Anazote. It was only thanks to the efforts of Sir Gregor that the Brante bloodline managed to hang on to what little remained of its reputation. And now the noble families have all but forgotten about that scandal. Thank the twins. Mother falls silent. She looks at you intently. Do you understand what she is telling you? My son, I'm not telling you this just to share the pain of my past. I have no reason to complain. Even Sir Gregor has accepted me through gritted teeth. But you need to understand the heavy burden our family must bear. Including our scandalous marriage and Gloria's foul origin. So that's why they hate Gloria. That's fucked up, man. And Gloria, she could never be a Brante. Even if the elder Brantes agreed, the news would stir up the old scandal in the minds of high society. And if that were to happen, Chad, they would even see your birth as illegitimate. Mother sighs heavily. What I told you now is something you have to know, son. You are about to enter adult life. By my lot, I must be humble. I cannot tell you how to treat your family. But may I ask you a question? Now that you know all this, do you still see Gloria as your sister? Oof, sorry, burp. Fuck yeah, I do. Are you kidding me? We were trying to bond with Gloria anyways. Yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Gotta stick with the fam. Filled with determination, you assure Mother that Gloria is and will always be your sister. You want Gloria to be a Brante too. You want her to be part of your family. Who cares what the nobles of Anazote say? Mother beams with quiet joy when she hears this. Oh, Chad, if only you knew how happy that would make me, to have our family united at last. However, the joy on her face quickly gives way to concern. But I already owe good Sir Robert a debt I can never repay. He's given my daughter so much, home and education, his care and advice. The Brante bloodline could suffer so much from Gloria's existence. We should all just learn to accept her status as it is. Just then, you hear Gloria carefully knock at the door of Mother's chambers. Mother, Chad, I couldn't find you. You happily greet your sister. Yes, she is your sister. No old secrets could ever change that. Mother gives you and Gloria a kiss on the forehead and returns to her prayers. You and your sister walk downstairs together. Mother is alone by her bedside now. thanking the twins with a quiet prayer to the Brante family. For the Brante family they have given her. You hope they can hear her. Boy. Oof. God damn. That's rough. Man, we're a lot closer to our mom than I thought we were. Gloria and Thomas gonna get together, you think? Maybe. You are 13 now. Another theology lesson. Today's sermon is about the priests and why the clergy is the only one of the 3 estates with the right to interpret the lots and guide the other 2 estates accordingly. Thomas sits next to you, huffing and puffing as he fervently writes down the teacher's every word. You've heard it all from Mother many times before, so you take this moment to daydream a little. Father promised to take you to the capital once your studies are complete. Thank you for the bits of talent. Merry Christmas. But the teacher suddenly casts a stern look around the lecture hall and raises his voice at one of your classmates. A boy by the name of Brian jumps out of his seat. The teacher asks him to repeat what he had just said. Brian freezes and seems to shrink. He tries to muster a reply, but nothing comes out. The class becomes agitated. Someone is about to get punished. The teacher now looms over Brian. The boy's cheeks are flushed, and his eyes are covered in tears. You watch the teacher's iron-bound book as he raises it sharply, about to strike. Brian shrieks and raises a hand in front of him. A sudden flash. The teacher screams and buries his face in his arms. Yo, thank you for the gifted sub, Sinister Mike. Thank you, thank you. His hair is ablaze and his skin is covered in horrible burns. It's magic. Real magic. Just like in the books about the Magor Rebellion. The class freezes in shock. There's a dull thud as the iron-bound book falls to the floor. Brian's hysterical laughter rends the silence. He stands up from his bench, fire in his eyes and sparks on his fingertips. There are screams now. Students run for the door. The teacher tries to extinguish his burning hair. Brian snaps his fingers, and the Book of Asadias on the desks turn into pillars of flame. He laughs and raises his arms, and the curtains catch fire. The screams grow louder as the fire howls. Brian's face is tense and violent. His mouth is spewing flames, and his whole body is shaking with laughter. He steps towards the door. You and Thomas glance at each other. He's going to burn the whole school down. Your friend's determination makes you brave. You run behind Brian and knock him off his feet. You both tumble to the floor. Even through his clothes, his body sears your flesh. Brian screams, convulses, and grabs Thomas by the shoulders with his burning hands. Thomas howls but stays put, then knocks Brian senseless with a couple fierce blows to the head. There are servants fussing around the room now. They put out the fire and take away the teacher, his body covered in horrible burns. You and Thomas remain next to Brian, who is lying on the floor, silent. Soon, 3 men in black cloaks enter the schools of the door, each bearing an... Oh, fuck. Why do... Alright, I'm good. An edict sealed with silver. The Inquisition. You and Thomas are told to step away from the witch. They lock Brian's neck in a silver collar and take him away. One of the Inquisitors remains behind to tell the students what happened. That was magic, he explains. The ungodly power that twists the minds of men into savage instruments of murder. Only the sacred shackles of silver can hold it at bay. Only the powers of the twins can save us all from its evil grasp. The next day, you are forbidden from ever mentioning Brian's name again. He is no more. Yo! The bromance is so good. A great day looms ahead. 100 years ago, Uther Tempest was anointed to rule over the Empire. Blessed by the twins themselves, the Emperor's reign continues into its 2nd century. Celebrations in honor of the Tempest dynasty are held throughout the city, and the school is closed for 2 weeks because of that. On one of these evenings, the life of Brian took a turn. I think the life of Brian ended. Father tells everyone that grandfather is going to bring Stefan back home for the holiday. They say families should celebrate the Day of Anointment together. You could benefit from your elder brother's company. With all his noble education, Stefan might be able to teach you how noblemen are supposed to act. Fuck. God damn it, this fuckboy. Soon as Stefan arrives, he now handles himself differently. When it comes to ordering servants around and ignoring Gloria, he is still grandfather's double, but he is more grown up now and far less haughty to you. You'd like to hear me read some Lovecraft? That actually might be I might run into some copyright issues. We'll see. It is a dark winter evening. A damp, cold wind sweeps through the city from the barren lands of Magra. You and Stefan are sitting in the library. He's telling you all about Eterna, the capital of the Empire. It is full of so many wonders. The Imperial Palace, the enormous Temple of the Twins, the Military Academy, the Imperial College. You have read so much about these places, yet he has seen them firsthand. It should be open domain. All right. Noted, chat. Thank you. Nathan enters the library. He looks concerned. I can't find Gloria. I looked everywhere. She's not in the attic, not in the sitting room, not in the kitchen. I heard she wanted to sneak off to the ruins of Char Melanda's place. I know that's not how I'm supposed to say it. She could be lost in there. You and Stefan exchange looks. Char Melandus, the rebellious duke, the ruins of his palace are a dangerous place. Some children claim his tainted magic still lingers there, which means you absolutely have to make your way there and back again to prove that you are not afraid of the long-dead witch. Your brother tells you to wait. He leaves and soon returns with his sword in his sheath. Get ready, Chad. We're going to rescue Gloria. She must have gone to the ruins in search of inspiration for one of her little rhymes. Yo, what? Is Stefan being, like, actually cool for once? The two of you instruct Nathan to tell your parents you've gone for a walk in the square. You and your elder brother head outside. You're confused by Stefan's actions. He refuses to treat Gloria like a human being, so why is he so determined to rescue her? Stefan notices your expression. Are you wondering why I care about Gloria all of a sudden? I can't act in any other way, can I? The law of honor compels me to protect my family. Gloria will never be a Brante, but father still took her into our house. I must respect his seniority and defend Gloria like she is one of her own. You are a Brante too, noble or not, which means it is your duty to aid me. The ruins of Char Melanda's place span an entire district. The palace was abandoned centuries ago, and its remnants are overgrown with a thick underbrush. The ruined palace is empty, nothing but cold wind blowing over crumbling brickwork. Even the worst scum of the land steer clear of this place. You make your way through the ruins until you spot scattered sheets of paper covered in writing. Your sister's writing. You hear loud laughter coming from behind a dilapidated stone wall nearby. You pull yourself up to peer over it. Gloria is lying on the ground, face down, twitching and sobbing. A gaggle of drunk young thugs surround her, cackling and swinging their arms about. You hear their shouts. Look at the lass sitting here rhyming words together. She thinks she's all noble. But don't you worry, you low-born tart. We're gonna teach you your place. One of the louts spits at Gloria as she lies there. Get away from her this instant, you bastards, or I'll spill your guts. They respond with mocking laughter. Stefan draws his sword. The street thugs recoil in fear, but they soon notice that he is only one armed man. Ah, fuck, why am I burping so much? Shit. Against many, they start reaching out for sticks and stones. Stay by my side, don't let them flank me. Stefan's hand shakes, but he looks ready for battle. He's outnumbered. For a moment, you hesitate. Perhaps it might be better to run for the nearby district and call for guards. The young thugs are already armed with makeshift weapons. They start approaching you and Stefan cautiously. Yo, we've gotten into so many street fights though, we can beat the shit out of them. Hold on. Or we can pump our nobility. Ingenuity. That's interesting. Follow orders, this is war. Let's stand and fight. Stefan's firm voice fills you with confidence. You follow your noble brother's orders. It takes a moment to grab a stick, and then you are at Stefan's back, angrily swinging at the louts as they try to bring him down. One of the lads lunges at your brother with a stick, but you hit him fuck. And he falls down right at Stefan's feet. His sword flashes. The blade sinks deep into the young man's stomach. He wheezes. Blood starts spurting onto the ground. The thugs freeze. Stefan pulls the sword out, his face an inscrutable mask, then returns to his fighting stance. You are stunned to see Stefan take another man's life so easily and effortlessly, like picking his own teeth. The thugs look like they are about to flee. There is rage and confusion on their faces. They never expected the young nobleman to use that sword. Stefan just scoffs at them. Low-born scum, that's all you are. This is the only language you understand. Good job, brother. Gloria, get up. We're going home. He turns to glance at your sister, giving the enraged thugs just enough time to rush you. You get separated from Stefan. Your back is against the wall now. They hit you hard. In the stomach, then the face, then the side of the head. Then your mind slips away. When the darkness disperses, you find yourself lying on your bed. Stefan is in his armchair next to you, reading a book. Imagine that, chat. He's alive, with a left arm in a sling and a black eye, but still alive. Your head is spinning and you feel nauseous. You try your best to sit up. Stefan looks up from the book. Don't try to get up. You lost a lot of blood. I suppose that was a few thugs too many for a single warrior, even with a good backup. I'm impressed. We fought like an army. The noble orders, the commoner obeys, all according to our lots. Oh, fuck you. We defended the family's honor together. You know, brother, the nobleman's lot is also a great burden that few are able to bear. It takes courage. Not to fight everything you see, but to do your own duty. Each and every decision a nobleman makes becomes a part of his family's legacy, flowing in the blood tide forever. I think about it often. A noble mustn't act weak, a noble mustn't suffer like the people of the lowborn lot. A noble must rule over them wisely. A noble must ensure that they have work to do. It's not merely your own lot you have to look after. You have to ensure that 1,000 others can live by their lots as well. And there are so many more matters to take care of. Honor, dignity, tradition. It's tough, but it's what it takes to be a nobleman. Do you understand what I'm talking about? There is approval in your brother's eyes for the first time in a long while. It was a pleasure fighting side by side, brother. We should have just charged them, I think. I don't think we should have listened to him. Before long, the entire city hears how a gang of lowborn thugs assaulted Stefan Brante. Grandfather ensures that the brash young men are found. Some of them are taken into custody as soon as a lesser death releases them. Grandfather seeks vengeance on those who hurt his favorite grandson. Prefect Elborn, a friend of your family, promises to personally oversee the trial and ensure that justice is served. Charging would have led to death, probably. Actually, it warns you when an action will kill you. Stefan and Grandfather decide to stay in Anazote until the trial ends. Grandfather demands true death for every single assailant. You ask Father to explain something. How can a legal court sentence criminals to true death? How can worldly judgment overrule the twins' law? Your words are true, my son. Their law is second to none. Yet the twin gods also made the empire and all its ways. The court of law exists to execute the laws of heaven here in the world. Should the court of law sentence a person to death, the law high above will always enforce it. And so every execution brings true death. Holy shit, I don't understand that at all. The commoners who assaulted Stefan, a born nobleman, have committed a grave offense. There's no doubt about that. And yet, according to the Emperor's decree, even commoners have the right to defend themselves when they are about to face true death. That means all of us will have to appear at the trial and testify before the court. Evening comes. Gloria visits your room. She looks crestfallen, and her fingers keep reaching for her long hair. Well, no, I understand the difference between true death and false death. I don't understand the relationship between the higher law and the world law. Anyways, you put away your school books and ask what is bothering her. The trial is tomorrow. I thought I was going to appear there too, as an eyewitness. After all, this whole mess started because of me. But Sir Robert isn't even going to mention that I was there. Can you imagine? He says it would ruin the case. Why am I always in the way? Nobody ever mentions me. Nobody has to listen to me. It's like I don't even exist. I think, Gloria, I think that means you're out of the way. Thank you for the sub, Dad Lemmy. And I thought Stefan standing up for me finally meant something. Maybe it'll become part of the family, but no, everything is back to usual now. Gloria tries her best to hold back the tears. You do her best to comfort her. Father needs to keep the family out of trouble. If Sir Robert believes that I only bring trouble, why did he took me into the house at all? I think that's a typo. Why did he take me into the house at all? Thank you for the sub, Big Black Chocobo, the tier 3. Thank you, I appreciate it. Gloria runs away. You return to your books, but you can't help but get lost in thought. What if they told the court you weren't there either? How would you feel then? There's a knock at the door. It is Father. He closes the door behind him and sits next to you. There's an exhausted look about him. Son, you'll be testifying before the court tomorrow. Please remember what I'm about to tell you. Gloria wasn't at the ruins at all. You went there with your brother to inspect this historic site. The lowborn men insulted Stefan first, then attacked him. Stefan had managed to deal with the assailants on his own by the time the guards intervened. Gloria will cast suspicion on the case. If we mention her very existence to the court, the reputation of the family will suffer. Your grandfather will never forgive me if that happens. Do not let me down. We are all counting on you. You recall the night of the fight like it was a moment ago. Gloria sprawled under the feet of those cackling thugs, her poetry, her greatest treasure, scattered on the ground. She thinks she's all noble. Those were the words they spat down at her. But doesn't grandfather mean the same thing when he denies that she is part of the family? But if you do what Father tells you, the trial will end quickly. Those commoners will face true death for assaulting a noble. If you mention Gloria, things will get complicated. And you cannot predict how the trial will end. Which is more important to you? What is right, or what is just? You will do as Father told you and avoid mentioning Glory to the court. We get reputation, unity goes down. No, I don't think I'm gonna sell out. You agree with Father now, but we'll tell the truth later. Ooh. Convince Father to change his mind. You are determined to change Father's opinion to make sure Gloria gets the fair treatment she deserves. Now, chat, consider this. We have the option to kill 3 nobles. It'll get complicated if we get Gloria involved. I mean, I'm probably gonna do it. I think I'm going to convince Father to change his mind, but what if we miss out on getting 3 nobles killed, chat? Weren't they commoners? Oh shit, no, I'm sorry. You're right, they were lowborn. I misunderstood. Do it for Gloria. You look Father straight in the eye and tell him what you think. You are not going to bear false witness in court. He is a judge himself. How can he make you lie to Sir Elborn? And what of Gloria? Is she not a Brante too? Does she not deserve justice? Or maybe Grandfather is right, and she is just a freeloader who deserves nothing but shame. If so, then how come Father agreed to take her into his home under his protection? Saying this to Father is tough. Deep inside, you pray he hears no weakness in your voice and sees no blood rushing to your cheeks. But it seems he's listening to you intently. The wrinkles on his forehead grow deeper as his fingers stammer out a staccato against the armrest. This is going to be tough, son. But you're right. You are right. I took Gloria into my home, and so I must protect her like my own daughter. This is my decision, and I must stand by it. I will speak with Stefan in the morning. Now, I pray your grandfather never hears of my change of heart. The day comes. The trial takes place in the lesser hall of the city prefecture. Sir Elborn himself presides as the judge. You are the first to testify to the court. You tell the court the truth about that night. How the thugs humiliated Gloria. How Stefan and you came to help her, and how Stefan defended his half-sister. Out of the corner of your eye, you watch Grandfather's face grow red, yet he remains silent. There are confused whispers in the hall. The commoners on trial cry out. It's the truth. Gloria was reciting poetry, and they simply told her she was defying her lot. The situation has changed. By this account, Stefan was not acting in defense of himself or another. He merely assaulted them first in order to retaliate against those who had insulted his half-sister. You spread your feet to stand firm and inhale before you speak next. You ask the hall, is it not a nobleman's duty to honor his family name? Duty. Gloria does not have the Brante name, but your father took her into his home. Therefore, it was Stefan's duty to protect her, as he would have protected any of you. Contemptuous chuckles rush through the courtroom. You have just reminded the city of Father's shameful second marriage. Stefan is to testify next. He reluctantly confirms your testimony, glancing at Father and Grandfather all the while. His arm in the sling is his main argument. Stefan wanted the commoners to stop insulting Gloria, yet in the end, the commoners were the first to assault him. After a short recess, Sir Elborn returns and rises to deliver his sentence. Okay, thank you for the sub, Milanomi Aura, thank you. The court of Enizote finds you guilty of assaulting Stefan L. Brante, a nobleman who stood in defense of the honor of Gloria, a member of his household. All 4 defendants are sentenced to true death by hanging. There is no wind, but you feel a gust sweep through the hall. The defendants turn pale. Their mothers are bawling and crying. Everybody in the court feels the dreadful power of the law, and it is stern and just. That very power has been invoked in this sentence, and by that very sentence, the lives of the 4 young men are literally forfeit for all eternity. Blood for the blood god. The gallows await. Stefan stands in the front row. Father stands next to him. The wood creaks. The trap doors open under the young men's feet. They dangle in the air, wheezing and reaching out for support with their feet in their final moments. Grandfather's silence ends at home. He screams at you and Father, at Stefan and Gloria. This trial is a disgrace. His screams are punctuated by the thudding of his walking stick against the floor. Father says they had to defend their family. It would have been truly a disgrace if they had shirked their responsibilities. Stefan excuses himself to bandage his arm in order to stay out of the argument. Gloria is quiet, but glowing. You stay quiet too. It is all over now. It is all over now. Nobody bullies Gloria on the streets anymore. Those 4 commoners are dead forever. Their families were taught a cruel lesson. So will it be with anyone who raises his hand against a nobleman. Man, that is kind of fucked. Oh. For Gloria, I guess. I think we need to pump our willpower back up. We got some new spirituality. That's good. That's good. I think I would rather go the spirituality route than the noble route. Thank you for the resub, Eldritch Dragon, for the 3 months. I appreciate it. Stefan leaves soon after the trial, alone. Grandfather does not go with him. For the first time in a long while, he lingers in the house for more than a fortnight. Father says Sir Gregor is ill and needs rest? How delightful. Several months go by, and it becomes clear that Grandfather will not recover. The eldest Brante is mostly bedridden now. On some days, he has trouble recognizing people. When he means to address you or Nathan, he calls you Robert, your family name. Thank you for the resub, What the Fox. I appreciate it. Surviving the second COVID shot. Nice, dude. Enjoy that 5G in your veins. But when he does get out of bed, the house grows empty. The servants hide. Mother locks herself in her chambers. You and Nathan run outside or hide quietly in your rooms. If Grandfather sees anyone in the hallway, he begins lamenting. Oh, nobody heeds the lots anymore. Any harlot with a child can marry a nobleman in these days. Children have no respect. His son betrayed him and let him down. And oh, how the Brante family has lost its honor. Again and again, you hear Grandfather knocking at Mom's door, screaming that it is all her fault. He blames her for ruining his chances to find bliss in the hereafter. He blames her for dooming him to suffer at the foot of the pillar. You overhear your parents talking one night. Mother begs Father to move Sir Gregor to his old home and spare the children his decline. Father refuses her outright. It is late at night. The hot, dry winds are coming. Oh, please give us an opportunity to kill him. The house is empty save for you, Nathan, Gloria, Mother, and Grandfather in his bed. Father has left for the capital on business. You are engrossed in the history of the Empire, snapping out of your reverie only when the clock strikes midnight. You blow out the candle and get ready for bed. You hear the shuffling of heavy feet outside your door. You see a light in the hallway. Grandfather, what could he want in the middle of the night? You peek into the hallway once he has passed. Grandfather's figure sways as he heads to the door to Mother's chambers. He opens the door and walks in. You hear him saying something quietly. Your unease is stronger than your fear now. You sneak closer to hear his words. You foul commoner. I have to cleanse my sins. I have to save my soul. You are my greatest sin. You and what you've done to Robert and this family. I should have put a stop to this marriage. I should have stopped Robert from tainting this house by your presence. Why, oh, why didn't I do it? Please, Sir Brante, I beg of you. Silence. You will do my bidding. Fire will cleanse all low-born filth from this place. Fire and flame will free Robert from this disgrace. This is for my son's sake, for my son's sake, for my sake. I need to eradicate this low-born filth. The twins, they're calling for me now. I can feel it. I can feel it. I beg of you, please have mercy. Mother begins to cry. You run into the room, unable to stay out of this any longer. Grandfather's gaunt figure looms over Mother's bed, a lit oil lamp in his hand. Mother is sprawled out on the bed, crying. Please, just let me warn the children. I beg of you, Sir Brante. Your steps are loud enough to be heard. Grandfather turns to look at you. Stay out of this, Chad. Be useful for once. Worldly matters concern me no longer. I see only my sins now, and a sinner I am, a sinner. The twins, they forgive no one. They will judge me by the pillar. I must do something. I don't want to suffer for all eternity. Go away. Mother is crying. Grandfather is still looming over the bed, driven to madness. His hand shakes as it clutches the oil lamp. His eyes shine in the dark. He truly believes this has to be done. You are suddenly torn. What if he is right? What if that is the only way for his soul to find salvation? There is no going back now. You have but a moment to act. True death for Gregor Brante. We're gonna fuck this man's entire soul. Blood for the blood god. You look at Grandfather defiantly and step towards him. He stares you down with rage and throws the oil lamp at the floor. You manage to catch it, but just barely. Several drops of hot oil hit the rug, not nearly enough to start a fire. The lamp's glass is blistering hot. It burns in your hands, but you hold on to it safely. You low-born scum, you ruined everything. You're every bit like your mother. You. Enraged, he takes a swing and you squeeze your eyes shut. But he does not hit you. Instead, there's a deep exhalation. You peek at him with one eye, just in time to see him collapse, all his strength fading away. His chest is heaving, his face a grimace of contempt. Another heavy exhalation. The contempt is gone. There is only fear now. Grandfather's eyes open wide. Almost in surprise, he exhales. His eyes grow dim. Mother is there, whispering a prayer. She is shaking violently. I feel so blue-balled, he just had a heart attack. He was weak. You put the oil lamp gently on the bedside table and call for the servants. They carry the body away. It does not disappear. True death has found him. He will never return. You spend the rest of the night with Mother in the sitting room. She will not let go of your hand. For many, many nights afterward, she keeps seeing Grandfather's shadow out of the corner of her eye. Father returns from Eterna in the morning after. He is unusually composed as he arranges for the funeral. The house becomes quiet. Not the looming, heavy sort of quiet of the past few months, but the calm relief you all feel now that the crazed old man is no more. And at last, Gregor Brante, the family's patriarch, has departed for the hereafter. Your grandfather, Gregor Brante, left this world forever to meet the twin gods. Are we close to the end of our adolescence? This might be the last chapter. The night of Grandfather's death shook your family to the core. Yet no matter how it happened, your grandfather, Gregor Brante, is dead and will never return. He was a fearful shadow looming over the rest of the family, the Brante patriarch exerting his influence on the lives below him. And all of you will fuck. Hold on. All of you will remember him forever. Father is the new patriarch of the family now, yet he cannot bring himself to sit at the head of the table where Sir Gregor used to preside. Stefan locks himself away in grandfather's bedroom every day. He will not talk to anyone. Gloria and Nathan still jump at every sound that so much resembles the knocking of his walking stick. Mother spends all day in prayer at the temple. And yet, the house has become calm and quiet with his passing. But there's one more thing that must be done. The final farewell. It weighs heavily upon your soul. The day comes to pay your final respects. Father goes to the tomb alone save for Stefan, Nathan, and you. Mother and Gloria stay at home. Only nobles, or those who may become nobles, may join in this ritual. There is a solemn silence as you walk into the crypt. Father is the one who breaks the silence when you finally reach the door of the family crypt. Your grandfather built this crypt, and now he will be the first Brante to remain there in body forever, the first ever noble in our family. It is our duty now, hold to the sacrament of the flowing blood for Sir Gregor. We will honor his legacy and join him as the founder of the noble Brante dynasty. Stefan perks up at Father's words. His hands still clutch grandfather's sword. Tradition decrees that it must remain in the niche above the owner's sarcophagus. Nathan, on the other hand, looks even more frightened now. Stairs carved of white stone lead you downward. Deep in the gloom of the crypt, atop a pedestal, you see the sarcophagus that holds grandfather's body. Grandfather takes a moment to compose himself before paying his final respects. God, I hope he's not suiciding. Oh no. Gregor Brante, my father, brought our family into nobility through his unshakable will. He was a judge and a loyal servant to the empire. He served his life as if he had been born a noble, and he never strayed from the path he had chosen. He sought to make the Brante family ennobled by the sword so that our children's children might be of noble birth. The twins know I abided by my father's words all my life, even if I could not obey him every time. Father lets out a bitter chuckle as he says this. Stefan glares at Father, then turns to glare at Nathan, at you. After all, the two of you were born of Father's shameful decision to marry a commoner. All of you must remember his disastrous passing. He did not die the true death he deserved. Yet, we all must know that he fought for the future he believed in to the very end. And he would be proud to see his family bid him farewell with the sacrament of the nobility. Stefan still glares at Father sullenly. His fingers remain clutched around grandfather's sword. Nathan barely pays attention to the words. He looks around with unease, his arms folded across his chest. Father reaches into his jacket and pulls out a slender dagger, thin and sharp. He takes off his gloves. Watch me carefully, my sons. Make a small cut. Oh, just a small cut. Ooh, okay. Thank you for the gifted sub, Sunny Side Up. Thank you, I appreciate it. Make a small cut on the palm of your hand and let your blood flow into this duct on the wall of the crypt. It will join your grandfather's blood here and flow forever. Then ancestor and progeny will become as one. We shall enter our family's blood tide and receive grandfather's final blessing, for his blood flows first in our blood tide. He will respond to you. You are part of him, and he is part of you. With a quick motion, Father slices his hand and holds the bleeding cut above a small opening in the wall. He then hands the dagger to Stefan. Stefan cuts his hand without hesitation and does as Father did. You receive the dagger next. The dagger's handle feels warm. You hesitate for a moment as you look at the palm of your hand. If you participate in this ritual, you will enter the Brante blood tide. You, a low-born child, a child who is still a commoner. Are you ready to claim your legacy as a descendant of nobleman Sir Brante? The eyes of your father and brothers are upon you. Nathan, the youngest brother, will follow your example. You can be certain of this. I don't know. I kind of don't. You guys think so? I do like the blood tide. He'd probably hate you for doing this. Fuck, I didn't think about it that way. Well, now we have to. Destiny is blood tied? I don't know if I like that. That would piss him off. God, it would piss him off so bad. Ask for grandfather's blessing. That's so stupid. I think let's go for it. We can't ask for his blessing. We don't have the requirements for it. You remember that fateful day when you were 8, the day you tried to choose a different lot for yourself. You violated the ritual in the temple, you kissed the sword, and against all odds, you said you had the right to be a nobleman. And now you must confirm this right. You must join the Brante blood tide. Hey, what happened to the revolution? We'll tear it down from the inside out. How about that? You grasp the dagger firmly, then hold the blade to your skin and quickly drag it across your palm. Drops of your blood fall into the duct, flowing further into the crypt as they combine with the blood of your father and brother. The fresh wound burns on your hand. What are you doing, Chad? Why did you have to take these two along, Father? This ritual is for nobles, and you two aren't even noblemen. His eyes met Father's stern gaze. No one is to interrupt the sacrament. Indignant as he is, Stefan falls silent. You hand the dagger to Nathan. Your younger brother hesitates. Father offers him help, but Nathan shakes his head. Finally, he makes a cut, and Nathan's blood joins yours in the duct of the crypt. The deed is done. It's time to close the sarcophagus. The lid falls into place with a heavy, resonant thud. Then suddenly, you all freeze, as each of you hears your late grandfather speak to you. His voice is loud as it rings in the depths of the crypt, yet he speaks to each of you separately. So you think yourself my descendant, son of a low-born woman? Very well. Time will tell how much nobility you have within, but know this. I am your ancestor. You are my flesh and blood. I will be watching you always, and my shadow will follow you forever. Do not let me down, boy. Grandfather's voice falls silent. You glance at your father and brothers, astonished. Save for Stefan, everyone else is dumbfounded as well. I don't want a grandpappy shadow, chat. The ritual is complete. Stefan reverently kisses the grip of grandfather's sword and places it in the alcove above the sarcophagus. Once all is done, you leave the crypt together. Cool, fresh wind blows in your face as you return to the surface. Stefan storms off to the carriage, fuming. Father stops halfway to the carriage and hugs Nathan and you briefly. Now your blood belongs to the dynasty of Sir Gregor Brante as well. God, it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck when we revolt against our dad. Ain't no such thing as a good noble. Sorry about the mic bump. You join the blood tide of the Brante family. Huh. Interesting. I would say Elborn is a chill dude, but he did also sentence 4 low-born people to true death, which isn't great. Oh my god. How long is this chapter? Give me a minute. Another day of school is behind you. You are now wandering your district, taking your time before going home. It is getting dark. Soon you are walking past the splendid mansion of Count L. Velasco. one of Magra's richest landlords. You hear a familiar voice from the other side of the iron fence. It is Stefan's voice. It is followed by the sound of a young lady laughing. You peek through the fence and into the mansion's garden. And indeed, there you see your elder brother, dressed like he is going to meet the Emperor himself. He is currently helping a pretty young lady out the window. She locks him in an emotional embrace. I'm near the end. At this rate, you should finish within half an hour. Understood, thank you. You recognize him, Maria El Velasco, Count Velasco's daughter. And as the whole city knows, she is already betrothed to another young nobleman from a far more illustrious family. Oh, Maria, I thought I could help you come down to earth from your heavenly abode, but your very touch brings me to the heavens. Fuck you, Stefan. He picks the Count's daughter up and holds her in the air. She laughs, almost imperceptibly, and kisses him on the cheek. But then Stefan takes her by the chin and turns her to face him. Their lips join in a kiss. A flurry of emotion washes over you as you watch it happen. Stefan is putting the reputation of his entire family at risk. Acting so frivolously with the court's daughter may turn the count's influence against all the Brantes. And yet Stefan always speaks so highly of noble bearing and composure and family honor. Stefan's face is glowing with joy. Your older brother, he is happy. Truly happy. You've never seen Stefan like this, as his arms hold the Count's daughter in a tender embrace, so gently, as though he fears to hurt her. And Maria reciprocates his feelings. Must you really rob them of their secret joy? If you ever speak to him about this, no one else must hear it. You wait by the gate patiently until Stefan decides to return from his escapades. He is startled when he finally notices you standing by the gate. Destiny, Stefan's disgrace. Remind me what a nobleman's honor means? No, fuck that. I don't think this is a very tough choice. I don't want to go the noble route. I would rather go the spiritual route. He's a dick, but you're a bro. He is our bro. He is our bro. Actually, both of these lead to Stefan's disgrace, don't they? Honestly, I would rather take the spirituality. What are you doing here this late at night, Chad Thundercock? Is there something you wish to tell me? You confess to Stefan that you saw him today in El Velasco's garden with the Count's daughter. This affair puts both families' honor at risk, yet you say you are happy for him. You can see how much he cares for her. No matter what, it is worth the risk. Stefan can trust you with this secret, you assure him. The two of you will keep it together. Yeah, I'm sure we will. Stefan reacts to you with anger at first, but your supportive words calm him down. You've got all the makings of a professional spy. But you're right. The risk is too great. Your aid will not go amiss. You are no nobleman yet, but I hope your word is worth my trust. From that day on, you help Stefan and Maria avoid attention on many occasions. You even have to distract El Velasco's manservants and lead them away on a wild goose chase through the district. In the end, you are never caught, and you earn your brother yet another night with his beloved. They are both aware that the days of their hidden love are numbered. But how will your escapees affect the family's reputation? You and your brother agree. Whatever happens, happens. Young love is worth this risk. You find out about your elder brother's forbidden love. Oh, shit, it's escapades, isn't it? God damn it. Escapades. Escapades. I knew the enunciation was somewhere weird. Escapades. Grandfather's passing and last respects have left a mark on the entire family. His words relayed from the hereafter keep echoing in your mind. You still do your best to avoid the memory of grandfather's last night and spend more time on the city streets with Thomas and your other classmates. The road by your house reminds you of another clash with death. Sometimes, as you walk along that road, you recall Sophia, the beautiful girl with the wonderful eyes and the terrifying, thundering hooves. You have not seen Sophia since that fateful day. The children who live nearby say her parents sent her to a rich Arcanian family, the Ottons, as a servant. The sun has set. The pillar shines palely in the dark sky. Thomas is ill, so you decide to visit him and tell him the latest news. The streets seem oddly agitated tonight. Oh my god. It's been like over 2 hours. I keep... But soon, chat. Soon. So we're wrapping up this chapter. Full of horses, cloaked men, strange faces, and hushed voices. A young nobleman in a heavily embroidered cloak is walking back and forth, clutching at his sword nervously. There is a grimace of rage on his delicate blue face. He is an Arcanian. You overhear voices. Sir Otten, the girl's not at home. We searched the house. Her parents swear she ran away from home too. They claim they wanted to bring her back. Just do whatever it takes. Turn this loathsome district upside down if you must, but bring my servant back to me. She's here. Sophia ran away from an Arcanian? How can this be? There's only one place on the entire street where a person could hide. The abandoned Moral House, 4 houses away from yours. You head there, doing your best not to attract attention. The lopsided house built of yellow brick has been abandoned for 20 years or so. You remember playing there as a boy. You glimpse a figure inside before you enter. A pair of eyes glimmer in the dark. You would recognize them even after another 4 years. Sophia has grown up. She is almost an adult now, and her face is full of fear. She is not the easygoing girl next door that you remember. She finally recognizes you. Oh, it's you, Chad. Be quiet. They're all looking for me. I ran away from the youngest Otten. I might be in for a lesser death here, but I'd rather die than spend one more day in there slathering. I'm just a thing to him, just a toy to play with. Sophia winces and closes her mouth as she says this. There's a glint of bright yellow deep in her eyes. I ran to my parents. I told them about the men I had to serve, and they went and... Whoa. Whoa! Hello? Thank you for the 25 gifted subs, Xavier. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. Whoa, okay, Eric. Thank you for the gifted sub, Eric. I will give you guys gentle kiss on foreheads. Mwah. Mwah. Thank you guys. And they went off and alerted the Ottons. They don't want to be the target of their ire, but you aren't going to tip them off, are you? The barking and shouting are getting closer. Sophia's voice grows quiet. She runs off to the darkest corner of the house before you can answer. One of Otten's servants is so close you can hear his cloak swishing against the ground. He notices something and calls for the others. There are more voices around you now. They approach the house from the yard and surround it. One of them seems particularly snappy, annoyed, and impatient. You've already heard this voice today. If you're in there, girl, you'd be wise to come out and quit wasting my time. All will be forgiven, and you will go back to where you were. You know it. And if you don't, I'll drag you out by your hair. When will Eric join another stream? Maybe someday. Oh, shit. No, let me fuck. The hilt of the young Arcanian's sword bashes at the door. He is about to lose his patience for good. Sophia hugs the wall in the dark, trying to stay still. She glances at you. What will you do? Your heart is racing. Can you act against the Arcanian's orders? Do you have the gall to defy the mighty nobleman? God damn it, chat. Well, we obviously can't do that. That's gnarly. That's gross. We have no choice, unfortunately. We have to hide alone. Ugh, fuck. Why can't you help her? I think... So because we didn't save her from the horses, it looks like we can't stop Auden. This is the only option we have. It's better than just giving her away to Auden. You swiftly turn away from Sophia's desperate gaze and flee to cower in a dark corner. A pained sigh reaches your ears. I knew it. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't have the requirements. You do not respond. You need to hide. The front door slams open. Heavy footsteps echo from the entrance. The irate Arcanian strides past your hiding place, paying you no heed whatsoever. I'm sorry, okay? God. Have a good night, Tyrama. Maybe it's Tirama. Where you going, you little tramp? There is no hiding from me. A shadowy figure streaks past you. Sophia? A high-pitched, furious scream slices through the silence. A blinding golden flash explodes in front of you. A sudden cascade of sparks burning through the darkness. As you blink, stunned, Auden's tall figure freezes and suddenly collapses. The golden sparks are still dancing before your eyes. A sudden pain seems to rupture your skull from the inside. Through the light and the pain, you barely catch a glimpse of Sophia as she dashes past the prone Arcanian and runs out the door. It takes Auden a few long moments to regain his senses. He gets up with a curse and runs after Sophia. So she's a witch too, eh? Get her, now. You hear men running, shouting, and barking orders on the other side of the wall. You lie there on an old pile of bricks, rubbing your eyes. Man, we really should have saved her earlier, but we just couldn't afford to take a second death that early. The strange stupor slowly leaves you. You get to your feet and walk unsteadily out of the abandoned house. The danger is past. Sorry about the mic bump. You walk back home, lost in thought. So Sophia's a witch? You recall how her magic bound Auden by the arms and legs, how he lost all control of his body. The runaway servant girl becomes the talk of the district for an entire week. You hear that Sophia's managed to flee the city. The Audens are furious. Sophia vanished from your life just as suddenly as she came. You will not see her again for quite some time. And she does not like us. That's okay. You can't win them all, chat. I'd like a special witch friend personally, but that's how it be. You are about to turn 15, just one step away from adulthood. Mother is acting anxious at dinner today, barely touching her food. You exchange glances with Gloria. She carefully tells you that she wants to go to the tailor. Mother shudders, and her hands clench into fists. No, don't you dare leave home today. I forbid it. That dirty heretic Photis is preaching his lies under the silver tree today. Twins willing, I don't want you to hear any of that. You and Gloria glance at each other again. Photis. He is a patriarch, head of the clergy throughout the entire province. This is the first time you've heard Mother speak like this about a priest, especially such a high-ranking one. Once you leave the dinner table, Gloria comes to your room with a cunning expression on her face like she's about to play a trick on someone. She has a plan. The two of you should sneak out of the house and go to the silver tree. You simply must hear that sermon for yourself. What's so bad about Patriarch Photis? Why does Mother hate him so much? You two are grown-ups now. Surely you have the right to know. You agree with your sister. Together, you sneak out from under your mother's watchful eye and hurry to the silver tree. The temple block is full of people of all ranks and estate. There's barely enough room for you to squeeze through the crowd. The crowd has gathered around the very roots of the tree. Gloria suggests that you climb up to the roof of a nearby building so you can hear and see everything better. And not a moment too soon. From the roof, you see a tall, silver-haired priest step onto the platform by the tree, dressed in the common black robe that looks far beneath his rank. Yet he stands like a noble before the crowd. Behind his back is a banner flapping in the wind, the open book. This is the symbol of the new faith, the crowd whispers. The patriarch holds his hands up to the sky and the entire temple block grows quiet. He begins his sermon, his vibrant voice rolling across the square. Fotis speaks of a great mistake. We entrusted ourselves to the lots as the only way to fulfill divine providence in this world. But for all these years, the will of the twins has been interpreted for us by one single man, Prophet Isadius. The twins are ever watching from atop the shining pillar. Of this we have no doubt. But how can we so blindly believe that we truly follow their will by following the lots? Have we not seen the 3 lots of Isadius fail again and again to answer the question of how we ought to live our lives? Have we not seen people change their lot in life again and again without being smitten by divine wrath? Every person born, whether human or Arcanian, lowborn or noble, must find their lot and find their way to the gods on their own. From now on, we will seek the gods in the accounts of their own lives, in their own acts in this world, in their own words as they echo within us. And we heed the voice of the twins within. We will each find their path for us on our own. The crowd at the silver tree listens to the patriarch's speech in stunned silence. You glance at your sister. Her eyes glisten with tears as she hears Fotis's words. Then suddenly, a hoarse cry rises from the crowd. If there are no lots, does that mean the nobles are going to till the fields and the commoners are going to bear arms? The crowd begins to murmur. The patriarch raises an arm and inhales, ready to answer. An odd figure leaps from the crowd onto the platform, a dirty beggar dressed in rags. A knife flashes in his hand. The blade slices. Blood starts spurting from Fotis's throat. He slumps over and collapses. A dark brown puddle spreads across the platform where he had stood. Gloria clutches her mouth to suppress a shriek. A few moments of stunned silence. Then the screams begin. The people are frantic. The temple guards try to restore order in the crowd, but to no avail. An old woman dressed in an inquisitor's cassock tries in vain to apply pressure to the patriarch's wound. The nobles draw their swords. Dogs are barking. The crowd is pushing and shoving. Children are crying. The entire square by the tree is in chaos. From the roof, you see the moment when people start trampling each other, howling, praying, shouting. Gloria tugs on your sleeve. Time to go. You climb down from the roof and run. You return home without exchanging a word. Mother has been in her room all the while, so no one noticed your absence. Gloria locks herself in her room. You do not discuss the thing you have just seen. They are too frightening. But your parents discuss every little detail of the bloodstained sermon over dinner. This is unbelievable. A patriarch murdered in plain sight? The gendarmes and the Archduke's guards have searched every corner of the slums, and the murderous beggar has disappeared without a trace. I can't even imagine a more gruesome crime. Fotis has died a true death, never to return from the hereafter. But how? Why can't the patriarch be reborn? He's so close to the twins. Such is the way of the world, my children. Once you are granted great power by the twins' will, there is no hope for you to come back, not even after the first of your deaths. Emperors, They're powerful vassals, heads of the great Archaean dynasties, patriarchs of the church. None of them are destined to be reborn. Votus is gone forever. I fear for his soul. It was lost in doubt. Will the twins accept him upon the peak of the pillar? We must pray for the patriarch children. Let us hope he managed to return to the old, true faith before the moment of his passing. But there is little hope for that. Oh, huh. Interesting. Tomorrow you turn 16. According to Imperial law, you will be a full adult. Your time at Sir Tiber's school has ended. You've studied enough to apply for Imperial College and learn the judge's trade there. You're to travel to Eterna tomorrow. Your friend Thomas will go there with you to try his luck in the Imperial capital. Mother and father prepare you for the long journey. Remember, son, there is only one goal for you. You must become a student at the Imperial College. Your teachers dragged you through all those books for a reason. You have the knowledge and fervor to be ennobled by the mantle as I was. And as my late father was before me. And who knows, maybe one day you will be the one to write the name Brante in the Blue Book and ensure that your children's children will be noble by birth. Then Mother speaks to you carefully. There is worry in her eyes. But Robert, there may be another path for a son. Stefan, your firstborn, was born a noble. He will surely earn the title for the entire Brante family. Your second son bears the favor of the twins. For him, the path of the priest is a worthy calling, no less than a nobleman's sword. You've been arguing about your future for a while now. Still, she would never defy the will of a nobleman and her husband. You smile at them both, trying to placate them. Gloria laughs quietly behind their backs. Just don't become a snoot like Stefan, and you'll do just fine. Mother chides Gloria for that. You wink at your sister. Nathan has been downcast all evening. He barely touched his dinner. When everyone gets up from the table, he suddenly rushes over to embrace you. Please don't go, Chad. Can't you stay? I don't know what I'm going to do without you. You tussle his hair in response. There's no way you can stay now, you say. But when you come home, and you will come home, you'll tell him all about your stories and bring him a special present from Eterna. This is it. All your lessons have been learned. All your things have been packed for the road. You will leave the family home tomorrow. Tonight is the last night at home before your departure. You walk through the rooms one last time. The sitting room, where Mother used to read your fairy tales. The library, where Gloria used to spend all her time. Father's study, which you only entered on special occasions. The backyard, where you taught Nathan to build towers one summer. The whole place feels so familiar, so dear to you. It feels like home. You've lived here for 16 years. Will you ever return? It is getting late. Everybody is already in their rooms, but you hesitate. Father, Mother, Gloria, and Nathan, it will be a long time before you see them again. Who will you spend your last few hours at home with? God, why can't we spend it with Gloria? No, our relationship isn't strong enough. Daddy? You think Daddy? Nobility, though. Honestly, chat, like I said, I didn't want to go for the nobility route. I think I want to go the spiritual route. I think we have to spend it with Mother if we want those stats. Isn't she dead? No, Mom's not dead. You open the door to Mother's room. She is kneeling in prayer. Her back is to the door, and her whispers fill the room. She turns around and smiles gently when she hears your footsteps. You want to spend tonight with her before you leave. Mother reaches out to you. Pee on the spot where Grandpa died. We'll see if we can make that work. Come with me, Chad. There's no need for anybody else to hear us. You walk quietly downstairs and enter the empty sitting room and light the candles. You are so close to the gods, my son. I knew it as soon as you were born. I saw them watching over you closely. Let us pray together, my son. May the twins know you honor their every touch. You stand by Mother's side as she whispers prayer after prayer. First, she offers gratitude for the life and lot you have been granted. Then, a plea to show you your path through the world, for it has no mercy. Next, a promise to heed and obey their every call. There is such fervor in her prayer, such piety. You know for certain, as you pray with her, that the gods will provide for you. They will ensure that your path is true. For there is no other way. Yo, revolutionary priest, though. I think that's the best possible route. The sun is about to rise. You should rest before the long trip, but you are not tired at all. On the contrary, you feel lucid and clear-headed. Mother embraces you once the prayers are done. My son, life is hard, but it is just more so for those that follow their lot. Remember, be humble in your own words and work hard. But before you go, Mother removes a pendant with the twins' cross and puts it around your neck. You return to your room and get into bed. You can see the shining pillar from the window, glowing gently against the twilight morning sky. All your worries about the long journey are no more. You feel calm and serene. No respawn for priests, though. Yeah, but wouldn't it be cool? You leave your family home for a long time. Your future awaits you in Eterna, the capital of the Empire. The end of adolescence. Last night was your final night at home. The carriage is now waiting at the gate, ready to take you to the capital. The clip-clopping of the idle hooves against the cobblestones count the seconds before your departure. You take one more look at your parents' house and recall your childhood spent there, in the nearby yards, at your school, and on the winding streets of Anazote. You clashed with the greater world around you and survived. You felt the tingle of emotion for the first time. You were taught by the school and the streets. You explored the city of your birth and learned something of its past. You witnessed first-hand events that will be remembered by history for all of time. All of this is yours now, forever. You saw death, lesser death followed by rebirth, and the true death that takes and never gives back. You saw death lying in wait to strike the unaware, like a beast stalking its prey. You saw grandfather's angry grimace, lit by the flickering light of the lamp, the Archduke's cavalry trampling those who stood in their way, and your older brother's bloodied sword slicing through the air. Death has followed you from a very young age. Whoa, thank you for the 10 gifted subs, Grey Probe. Thank you, I appreciate it. God bless. Mwah, moth bless. And yet you live on. You have a friend who has been by your side all these years. Thomas taught you many things: how to take a hit, how to keep your word, and how to remain true to your own self. And now Thomas is walking to the same carriage as you are with a heavy bag slung over his shoulder. Your friend will remain your companion for the time being. Ahead of you is a long trip towards the capital and adulthood. For the first time, you will be away from your family and home. What awaits you in the future? What indeed, chat? I'm gonna have to wrap us up here. Because it has been... Oh my god, we're cresting close to 3 hours of straight talking. Do you like this game? I love it. It's very intriguing. Thank you for the bits, Fallon. Thanks for reading to us, Juniper. I hope the rest of your day goes well, you fluffy, fluffy moth lady. Actually, it is night for me. I am going to be heading to bed. I imagine there's not really anybody up this late I can raid. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Super quick update. I'm going to be taking about a week off. I'm probably going to be back on Monday. A lot of people have been recommending it to me because, you know, I got a lot of work, IRL work I need to take care of for my actual job. And I'm going to be experimenting with some things. I want to come back stronger because I've been pretty tired lately. But thank you for the bits, Maestro. Thank you for streaming as always, Junie. I appreciate it. So I will see you again soon. It'll be a week. I'll be back on Monday. We'll see what the Monday stream will be, but I'll miss you. I kiss you on forehead. Hold on, chat. Mwah. You have been kissed. Okay. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Peace out. Have a good night. Hope you enjoyed.